Welcome to the Long Run with Joel Christie. I'm Joel, flying solo today, and I just finished a 4-mile training run. I'm in tapering mode for the Chicago Marathon, which I'll run on October the 9th. So about a week and a half away. Pretty excited about that, and so that's coming up. But I just want to pop on for just a minute and give you an update. I promised I would give you an update on my status for the Boston Marathon. As you know, I've been trying to get into Boston for probably 5 or 6 years now, and never could get a good enough qualifying time to do it. I ran the Town Celebration Marathon back in February, which was going to be my last shot at it. What I felt like was going to be my last shot at it, and so I needed for my age group, which will be 55 to 60. 55 to 59, I needed a time of at least 3 hours and 35 minutes. Now, if you know anything about running Boston and time qualifying, is that if you qualify, you don't necessarily get in. So runners, when they run a qualifying time, they're always waiting for what they call the cutoff time. And Boston always publishes the cutoff time, was that this is the time you need to be under your qualifying time to make sure that you get in. And this ranged anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 4 minutes. So I ran Town Celebration Marathon back in February. I ran a 3:31:01, which is 3 minutes and 59 seconds under what my qualifying time needed to be of 3 hours and 35 minutes. So I was able to submit a qualifying time, but that didn't guarantee me a spot in the race. And so what I'm looking at now is I was in the waiting game, waiting to see what was going to happen, waiting to see if they were going to accept me, if I was going to get the run. And so they said they would send out announcements. They had to make sure they verified all the qualifying times, make sure they were good, make sure they were from the correct races, make sure they were the correct times, correct names, everything like that. So it could take up to 3 or 4 weeks to do that. So I've been in the waiting game for a little over 2 weeks. But they have made their final decisions. And as I make this video, I do know whether or not I'm going to be running the Boston Marathon on April 17th of 2023. And the Boston Athletic Association, which runs the Boston Marathon, did put out a statement late last week, that said that there were going to be 30,000 people in the field. So they're going to limit it to 30,000 people. That's all qualifying entries, charity entries, everybody. Going to be limited to 30,000. So that's going to make it a little harder, because I think back in 2019, before the pandemic, the field size was like 31.5. So it would have been a little easier to get in at that point. But they did limit it to 30,000 this year. They had, not counting charity entries, which they don't have all of those yet, but not counting charity entries, they had a little over 23,000 people who time qualified for the race, including me. So all 23,000 of us, over 23,000 of us, are waiting for our times to be verified and get that official notice back that we're going to be in the race. Well, Boston Athletic Association came out last week with an announcement that that this year, as it was last year, there will be no cutoff time for the Boston Marathon. And so when I read that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be in. All I got to do is wait for my time to be qualified, and I'm good. And so I read the official announcement from the Boston Athletic Association, which said that there will be no cutoff time this year, that all qualified entrants will be granted entry into the race once your time is verified by the Boston Athletic Association committee. And so that's what I've been waiting for for the last 4 or 5 days is to make sure that my status goes from orange, which is pending verification, to green, which is verified. And so, and you know, I was checking that website 10, 20 times a day just refreshing that website just to make sure that I hadn't missed it. And so, anyway, I was checking it last night, and my status went from orange to green. So my time has been verified, and since there is no cutoff time, and I did run a good qualifying time, I will be running the Boston Marathon on April 17th of 2023. And so excited. It's been one of my dream races since I started running that in New York. I've already run New York, and after I run Boston, it'll be, I'll have run 3 of the marathon majors, which are all on the American side. I've never run anything overseas yet, so still maybe one day, maybe Berlin, maybe London, maybe Tokyo. I don't know if I can get into those, but I am saying that officially Boston's going to be my 10th marathon, and it's going to probably be my last competitive marathon unless I can get into one of the other marathon majors. We're going to focus on destination half marathons for a while, and just travel to places where I don't have to train a lot to go and do the race. So, but yeah, I'm just totally excited about what's happening, and how things are turning out, and dreams coming true. And man, I can't believe it. I still can't believe that, and I guess I really won't believe it until after the race is done. So getting to line up and run those 26.2 miles from Hopkinton, Massachusetts to Boston. So excited about that. So be looking for my training coming up, and I've got another marathon coming up. I'm running the Dopey Challenge in January, which is the 5K, the 10K, the half, and the full marathon at Disney World in January. So my training will continue through the rest of this year, and then we'll continue after that, because I'll be back into training mode for Boston. So just keep keeping up with that. Thank you all for your support. A lot of you have been commenting on my videos and just telling me how much you support me and rooting for me, and I appreciate that. I read all of those, and so thankful that you guys are on this journey with me. So we got many more miles to run and more places to visit. So thank you all for that. Drop me a comment below, and just let me know if you're a runner, if you're doing some races, if you've ever run Boston. I'd love to know that. I'm looking for some tips and tricks on how to do that. So drop me some of those comments below. Let me know how things are going for you. What are your goals as far as exercise and fitness go? Drop me those comments below. Let me know those too. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell for updates when we upload new videos on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes on the weekend, sometimes in between. You just kind of never know. We're going to drop one in there. But with that said, that's going to do it today. For the long run, Joel and Christy, I'm Joel, flying solo today. And don't forget, it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace and keep setting those goals and reaching for those dreams.